Okay, today we're going to be solving multi-step equations with variables on both sides. So before we just had variables on one side, now we're going to have them on both. So our ultimate goal still is to isolate the variable. So we want to get that variable all by itself on one side of the equal sign. How do we do that? So our first step is to always distribute. If we can't distribute, then we go on to combine like terms. And I want you to remember, whenever we combine like terms, you can only do if on same side. So they have to be on the same side of the equal sign in order for you to combine them. If they're not, then we're going to just ignore it. Our next step is we're going to move the variable to the left side, and we're going to move all of our constants to the right side. So our variable is where our letter is, and our constants are whenever our numbers are just by themselves. So we're going to use this step by so whenever you're moving a variable to the left or a constant to the right, you're always going to do this by doing addition or subtraction. You will never do multiplication or division. Our next step is to isolate the variable using multiplication or division. So that should be a step that is similar. So let's work through these. So first step, is there any distribution? No. Is there any way I can combine like terms? So on this left side, are there any like terms? No, there's only one term. On this right side, are there any like terms? No, because there's an x, there's a constant, and a variable. So my next step is I got to move the variable to the right side. So I see that I have 2x right here on my right. So I'm going to move that to the other side by doing the opposite. So since it's positive, I'm going to do the opposite, which is negative. 3x minus 2x is going to give me just x equals, and then my 20 comes down, and I get x equals 20. So that one only had one step to it. So that one was pretty easy. Okay, second step. I have 5q equals negative 7q plus 24. So no parentheses, so you don't have to distribute. Can't combine like terms on this side, can't combine like terms on this side. So I need to next move my variable to the left side. So I have variables on both sides. I have 5q on the left, negative 7q on the right. That negative 7q, in order to move it, I have to do the opposite. So I have to add 7q. So 5q minus 7q is going to give me 12q equals 24. Now my next step in order to get to q by itself is to divide both sides by 12. So I'm going to get q equals 2. Okay, now let's go down to the next two that get a little bit trickier. Okay, number 3, first thing I see is parentheses, so I got to make sure I distribute. So whenever you're distributing, you're multiplying. So negative 3 times x is going to give you negative 3x. Negative 3 times 4 is going to give you negative 12. Bring down my plus 5 equals 4x. Now my next step, can I combine like terms? Well, I have a negative 12 and a positive 5 that are on the same side, so I can combine them. That is going to give me a negative 7 equals 4x. Okay, then I want to get my variable moved to the left side. So that's a positive 4x, so I'm going to subtract 4x. Now, I want you to think about this. If I subtract 4x from that side, what does that leave on this side? It will leave 0. So I want you to think about that. Negative 3 and negative 4 is going to give me negative 7x. Now I want to move my constant to the right side. So my constant is this negative 7. The opposite is a positive 7, so I'm going to add 7 to both sides. I get negative 7x equals 7. Last step, divide by negative 7. You get x equals negative 1. And if this is going too fast, you are welcome to slow down and rewatch. So that one there was multiple steps to, so keep that in mind. Okay, number 4. Are there any parentheses? No. So then I have to think, can I combine like terms? Well, on the left side, there's 2 sets of x's, so I can combine those. So you have 5x minus 3x. That's going to give you 2x. You didn't do anything to the negative 7, so bring it down. And then x minus 5. Your next step is to get the x to the left side. So I'm going to have to, that's positive x, so I'm going to subtract x on both sides. 2x minus x is going to give me just x because it's 2 minus 1. Minus 7 equals negative 5. And then my last step is to get that 7 moved. So I have to do the opposite, which is positive 7. So I'm going to get x equals a positive 2. Because negative 5 and a positive 2, if you type that into your calculator, you're going to get a 2. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions on 1 through 4. We're going to move on to the next page. Okay, now these ones we're going to solve for the variable and then we're going to graph them. So number 5, my first step, I see parentheses, so I'm going to distribute. So you bring down your 1, negative 2 times x is going to give you negative 2x. Negative 2 times 3 is going to give you negative 6 equals 2x minus 4. Now I have to think, can I combine like terms? On this side, there's a variable and a constant. On this side, though, I have my 2 and I have my negative 6, so I can combine those. 1 minus 6 is going to give me negative 5. Minus 2x equals 2x minus 4. Next, I'm going to move my variable to the left side. So this is a negative, this is a positive 2x. I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. And I have to do that under the variable because you can only move it to a like term. So you have negative 5, negative 2, and negative 2 is going to give you negative 4x equals negative 4. So if you remember, your next step is going to be to move this constant over. So that I have a negative 5. The opposite is going to be a positive 5. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides of my equal sign. So that cancels. I get negative 4x equals negative 4 minus or plus 5 is going to give you 1. And then my last step on this is to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. Now, 1 does not divide by negative 4. So my answer is just going to be left as 1 equals negative 1/4. So on a number line, 0 in the middle, 1/4 right here, negative 1/4, let's go over 2. And remember, it's just a solid dot. That doesn't look very good. So just a solid dot on 1/4. Or negative 1/4, I'm sorry. Okay, next problem. So I have negative 7 plus 4x equals 9 minus 4x. So there's no distributing because there's no parentheses. Then I'm going to look, is there any like terms? There's a 7 and a 4x on the left, so they can't combine those. And there's a 9 and a 4x on the right, so can't combine those either. So I'm going to start by moving my variable. So this is a negative 4x, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is a positive 4x. You're going to get negative 7. 4 plus 4 is going to give me 8x equals 9. My next step is to move that constant. So that's a negative 7, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is positive 7. That cancels, so I get 8x equals 16. And then my last step is to divide, because 8 and x are being held together by multiplication. I get x equals 2. On the number line, where's the number line? There it is. 0, 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2. And again, this is just going to be a solid dot on a positive 2. And that is all it is. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions over those two. Those ones we just added in the graphing, but it's still the same steps as it was on the first page. Okay, next step, we're going to just do justification, which we've done before. Kind of same as what we've been doing today. We're just going to be writing out our steps. Okay, first step, I see parentheses, so I have to distribute. You get 4x. 4 times 4 is 16, so plus 16. Now you're plus 5 equals 33. So that first step I did is I distributed. Okay, next step, I can see, can I combine like terms? There's nothing to combine with x, but there's a 16 and a 5. I can add those two together. So 16 and 5 is going to give me 21. So I'm going to have 4x plus 21 equals 33. So what I did there is I combined like terms. Next step is we need to solve. So we need to do our addition and subtraction and then multiplication and division. So I need to subtract 21. I get 4x equals 12. So what I just did there was subtraction POE since I did it to both sides. And then my last step to get x by itself is I have to divide. 12 divided by 4 is going to give you 3. So that is division. POE. Okay, that is all for this note. So let me know if you guys have any questions. We are going to practice this probably over the next couple of days.